What's up, people?
Hi, guys.
James Silas here.
And it's Oris.
Oris right there. And we, this is, if I would say, welcome to the James and Oris show. Did you miss us last week?
I did. And by the way, people, it was this man's fault. It was not me. I was willing to be here, but this man said, you know,
it's faulted me. Faulted me. Yeah. Let's leave it like that.
Anyway, exactly. Yeah. So James has come to beg for forgiveness, and so we are back again.
This guy left one time shot for 3 weeks. So talking about
was legitimate. I traveled. Faults. This man was in Nigeria and was in Lagos.
I traveled as well.
Anyway, oh yeah. So today,
Davido.
Yes,
Davido.
Our very first.
Davido. Let me read that headline. Let me see the headline. Davido shocks the world as he gifts a fan 1 million naira. Is that shocking to you, bro?
Of course, there's nothing even halfway shocking about that bit of news.
It feels like it's a Davido thing.
In fact, I feel like for me, it's on two levels. On the first part, it's Davido. The man is pretty much known for giving. On the other hand, he's a millionaire. I mean, it's a lot of money for people like me, I guess. But I don't know.
Say because the millionaire, it's a big deal, my brother.
It's not a big deal for Davido.
No, let me say.
No,
for Davido,
if you hear that Oris gives somebody 1 million,
I will be shocked. I'll stop talking to him. Say,
Oris shocked. That Oris shocks the world.
Gave me.
That's the one. Oris shocks the world.
It will be shocking. 1 million. In fact, I have like this. On social media, it will be shocking for me to give somebody 500,000 naira.
Okay.
If I 100,000 naira,
please go away, please. Davido gives a fan $1 million. Believe me, there's nothing shocking about that bit of news.
Davido is that.
How many seconds ago was he? Did he do the 250 million thing that he said?
Exactly. I feel like you can meet Davido somewhere now, maybe at an event, and greet him very well, and you say, "Take 1 million." In fact, that's David. I feel like that's. We've come to know him for that. He's a very kind.
But like, look, if Davido gives somebody 100 million naira, I would agree that is a little bit of a.
But he gave people over 250 million.
That's what I said. People,
yes.
And that money was donated to him. I just want to hear that Davido. If Davido wants to shock, if Davido needs to shock, if we are to say Davido shocks the world, the money has to be a little bit more, not really, a lot more substantial than $1 million naira, which, according to our official rate, is probably about $2,000. And if you are using the 750 that it looks to be now, that's even less than. So tricky.
So we'll still have to say shout out to Davido. Davido, I think. Like his mantra is we rise by lifting others, and I think that he has lived by that all along, and so which is why we were saying that it's not really a big deal. Like when they say Davido shocked, no,
but wait, let me complicate this issue now by asking this man here who seems to be insisting on Davido's kindness. If the headline was Wizkid shocks the world by giving a fan 1 million naira, wouldn't it be tempting?
No. So for me, personally, yes. I've maybe not to the public, but behind or maybe inside gist, Wizkid is also very, very generous. Wizkid has been in traffic here in Lagos, giving a couple of maybe dollars. I don't know how much dollars he gives to that. It was a driver on the road like this. He gave the guy dollars. He said the guy stopped the car and told everybody to come down that he was done for the day. So Wizkid does a lot of things, but that doesn't get to social media. I have to say that I know.
No.
So Wizkid, I won't be surprised personally. I know that Wizkid is also.
Okay, my point is that when they say Davido shocked the world, for me, it's not about the fact that he's a giver. The reason why that is a ridiculous headline to me is because the money is not substantial enough for me to say shocks when it's coming from somebody who we know as super successful. So even if it was Burna boy,
but maybe not
even if it was whoever I know, my point is, no matter who it was, I find that person belongs to one of our big three people in the entertainment business, at least in the music business. I cannot consider that shocking because it is $1 million naira.
No, I know, but some people have that much and not even flexing like that.
It's still not shocking.
However, the shocking in that situation is just the fact that we were not surprised. We were like, all of us are not. Everybody's surprised that Davido has.
But I will be surprised if it gave a single person 20 million naira. That I'll be surprised about.
So maybe when he meets me, if he gives me 20 million, you can be there and be surprising yourself. I'll be fine.
So for now, the only headline that would work is Oris shocks the world by giving somebody 1 million naira. That one is
that'll be mad. I say lie. I will swear. I will say me and my friends be arguing as if like soccer. I say it is not possible. Oris give why? So that's by the way. But it's good to be good. It's good to be.
Yeah, good. It's good to be good, and it's very much an appreciated gesture that this man did this. I am happy about that. However, let the money be big for us to use the word shock. For now, we're just like, we're just happy that, you know what, this man did this. And but let's even face it, the amount of fandom displayed by that guy is quite, I think, substantial actually. Like I was saying, I said it on air, on radio just now. Normally, a lot of these keke drivers, a lot of these bike men back in the day, a lot of these downful drivers have all of these small stickers of people that they like on their buses and whatever. But this guy had like the entire vehicle seemed to have been coated with
Davido's
stuff. So exactly, so it shows that the man really likes Davido to have.
I mean, imagine like
vehicle
on my car, coated. Yes, and I have all over my car Davido stickers, and then the guy was also playing Davido's music.
Yeah, but speaking of,
yeah,
if you had to do that, who would you do it for?
If I had to do that,
yes.
Honestly, it would have been Fela for me.
Okay.
It would have been Fela for me if I had to do something like that. It would be Fela.
Actually, it would be Michael Jackson for me.
No, on the mainstream, local scene.
In local scene, man, I can't think of anybody. I won't lie. Sorry, I don't like people like that.
Yeah. I can't even believe you always that. Okay, yeah, I can also do it for Jay-Z. I think I'm a fan of Jay-Z like that.
Okay, internationally, yeah. Of course, for me, this generation probably will be Kanye. I really like.
Oh, then no. So again, let me leave. Let's say Fela. Apart from Fela, I would do that for Two-Face anytime, any day. I'm a big fan of Tubaba.
Yes, early Two-Face. Fair enough.
No, which was early Two-Face, dude? Two-Face.
Please. People of God.
Bro, if you want to do early or whatever,
early Two-Face.
Go ahead and do Plantation Boys. I don't understand you. Which one is early Two-Face?
Yes, but Plantation Boys.
Two-Face right now. Say early Two-Face.
Early Two-Face.
Two-Face anytime in day.
Early Two-Face. That's
because I've come to see
two
Oris,
albums plus Unstoppable.
You know that I've come to. I mean, I'm sure you agree as well that I've come to be able to differentiate between being a fan of somebody's music and being a fan of a person. So I'm a fan of Two-Face as a person. Do you understand? Okay. I'm also a fan of Davido as a person. Like the things that I've not met Davido. I've met Davido, but not in the sense that Davido knows me. Do you understand? Yes, I've worked on a project where he was, he wounded him. I directed the shoots that he did. That's a long time ago when he was still, not upcoming, but 2010 or so.
Okay.
So I've met him. I've seen the guy, but that time he wasn't doing all of this. Social media wasn't heavy at that time. So I'm a fan of the guy based on the things that he does. Do you understand? So I always say that for some people, I'm a fan of them even same thing with Wizkid. I'm a fan of Wizkid as a person. There's this chill thing about him. There's this, but then those things they change over time, really, based on what you do. I don't want to go into that in detail, but there are people that I'm actually. But you see, Burna Boy, I'm a fan of Burna Boy's music. But a lot of the things that surround the man and that over time, whether he's guilty or not guilty of those things that people say about him and stuff, regardless. But you see, when it comes to his music, I probably will have 10 or 20 of his music on a list of 50 on my playlist. Right? Yes.
Fair enough. Anyway, but like I said, I don't think I'll do it for any of them because I don't know that I'm a big fan of the people behind the music. Burna Boy, again, I really like the music. Wizkid, I like some of the music. The person I don't really know or really care much about, to be honest. Davido, I think the same thing as well. So yeah, I don't know. The local scene. Oh, but yes, LEMI.
This guy.
LEMI, my guy.
What happened to
LEMI, my guy?
And I don't like when I say LEMI because it makes me want to say, what about the late MI? But it's not late in that sense. So stop saying LEMI. MI is just
I said what I said, LEMI.
For me, on that same listen is Ice Prince Zamani. I love Ice Prince as a person. I love his music. He's my guy.
Okay, cool. But yes, MI actually I liked. I know it's fastest. Both as a person and as anyway for me, to be honest, these things are kind of intertwined. I won't lie. I always feel like because I put a lot of emphasis, a lot of whatever on
emotion.
Yeah, maybe
expectations.
on intelligence, no matter how you want to define it. And I felt like LEMI was a supremely intelligent human being. So it meant that rubbed off into his music. And so for me, I just embraced all of them, I think the first time I ever met him, unfortunately, I'm not usually going, but I was kind of very happy to know this is my guy because I was listening. I remember the first time actually I ever heard an MI song. I was maybe not the first time, but one of the very first 2 or 3 times. I was in school, University of Benin, reading, or supposed to be reading at the back of the hall at night, and I was listening to radio back in being one of the radio FMs in Benin, and I think it was who do these beats, or that one, or Blaze, the one that had the rapper Blaze had Jesse Jackson, maybe somebody
the remix.
else. Yeah,
yes,
you get on the Talk About It album. And I was just stunned, like, wait, who is rapping this rap like this? I had to go, and I remember leaving my books, going to meet my friend who was somewhere in the front of us. Like, wait, you have to listen to this.
Because a music head.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, where we were in school, we were forming cool boys who listen to really great music.
Yes.
Went to be like, do you know who this person is? We had never heard of this guy. So that thing always stuck in my head that, this is how much I've considered this guy so talented. So yeah, so I think yes, unfortunately, early MI, because the later day MI is still very brilliant and everything. But I think the issue, let's this not become like an MI review show. Let's just leave it there. I like early MI at the end. So anyway,
I also like Jesse Jags.
Yes, Jesse.
Jesse is also
the one true king.
Guy. Yes.
The one true king. Yeah, Jesse.
Yes.
Anyway,
even M says Jesse is the greatest.
He's the greatest, yes.
So yeah.
So anyway, moving on. Before we get sidetracked, we're talking about Davido's kind gesture. Now I've gotten into who we like in the music business.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's still valid. So, guys, if you're watching, let us know who are you a fan of in terms of music and people.
If you have to pick is one artist who's if you have a car or if you have a house or if you have a room, that you feel like you can put like 10 posters of that person or stuff related to him on your walls. Who is that one person? Let's see.
Let us know. And by the way, right now I have a sticker of Ida Hams on my car, so yeah.
It's business. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. Yeah, so recently we've heard that Funke Akindele is once again the owner of the #1 grossing film
in
I
don't know, in the country or on the continent.
We don't know the other
killing it.
numbers.
Yeah, true.
But yes, as far as Nigeria is concerned, our film Battle on Buka Street is now the
600 and
636 or 646 or something.
40 something.
40.
Yeah,
just
higher than
more than 600 million naira. That film has gathered at the Nigerian box office. Big deal, especially as the film that was #1 before she took over was Omogeto, which is also produced by Funke Akindele.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so it's massive. Part of the thing. I mean, to discuss this from you, because this is the amount number, so this is a business conversation. One of the things that has always been talked about in the film business has always been like when or how, what would have to happen for the box office to generate $500 million naira for a single film. Well, Funke has breached that barrier twice. So, which is massive. I think another thing that's interesting about it is it now looks like I think the top 4 films are all made by women. I think there's also Wedding Party 1 and Wedding Party 2 in 3 and 4. I have to check it. But yes.
No, Wedding Party 1.
1.
Yes, Wedding Party 1. I think there's also what's it called, King of Boys.
No, King of Thieves.
King of Thieves.
I think it's King of Thieves.
No, King of Thieves was like the last actually on that.
No.
It wasn't, maybe second to last. Then there was there's this other new one again that has Tony Abraham.
Oh, Ijakumo. But I think Ijakumo is the number 7 or 6.
Like the last or something. Like
yes, it's one of the last 3 on that thing, and it just came out last year. So it looks like but I think it's an interesting what's it called now thing to happen, because it looks like it now seems like we can confirm that the Nigerian box office can actually withstand something like that. We have enough screens to generate
that kind of fun. Also,
money.
I also feel like right now it's becoming a buzz, becoming a thing which might encourage people to want to put more energy in their marketing and try to beat, a record.
But you see, that's part of the I don't know if I say the problem. The thing is, what we are talking about here is revenue.
Yes.
Because we are not aware of marketing costs, we are not aware of production costs.
Yes.
We have no idea of how much profit has been made.
Yes, because this is not profit. We don't know about profit.
This is just pure revenue. So it will be good, although I feel like it's unlikely that we
judge these numbers based on profit.
No. I feel like it's unlikely that the producers tell us how much they dig their movies for. of course, in the US, these are numbers.
Information that are telling in public, yes.
You know that Avatar costs so and so to make, because James even said it, James Cameron himself said it, that, the film has to reach 2 billion or thereabout, has to be one of the highest.
For him to cut even.
To break even.
Yes, to break even,
So you have that information somewhere. All of these things, I mean, and we know that, I think there's a film from 1999 called The Blair Witch Project, which was apparently cheap to shoot, a horror movie, and then it grossed millions. And I think for some people that's like, I think if I'm correct, is either the number 1 or number 2, but one of the highest profitable films in terms of like how much did we put into it and how much did we get back out. So I think that but so if you look at the list, for instance, of most profitable movies in the US, or at least in the Hollywood box office, and the most profitable and the most highest grossing movies, those are not the same. They are not identical lists.
Yes, they are not.
You know, maybe 1 or 2 films show up in both of them, but generally speaking, they are not the same list. So that will probably be the next step in the interest of data gathering and in like being able to analyze what Nollywood is really, really doing and generating for its producers. Like, okay, can we get those figures as well? And then the math can be easily done.
Yes.
But like I said, because of the way we are as a people, will that happen? We don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's like politicians. next story.
Anyway, so there was the news just a few days ago that Wizkid and Tems had received the NAACP awards. Good news on the one hand. On the other hand, when you want to analyze it, I'm like, do you really care about the NAACP awards? You know, so that's the other half of the question. Of course, the thing is, every time a Nigerian scores an international award or an international victory on the neighborhood, whether it's prestige, whether it's money,
we celebrate it.
We celebrate it exactly, because it's not been the case that we've had Nigeria as a country, as whatever, cross over and have any sort of success anywhere or outside of the continent, outside of the country. So that's why whenever this happens, we are eager to celebrate it. For instance, I mean, back in the day, the people who used to be the most lauded or awarded internationally, we were not Nigerians that were based in Nigeria, or like who we knew grew up in Nigeria. We were mostly Nigerians who were schooled abroad, maybe even born abroad, maybe their first 20 years probably spent abroad. So it means that the formative system that has shaped them is like another country or internationally, you know.
Yeah.
But it feels to us like people like Tems, people like Wizkid, people like the Burna boy, people like Davido, you know, whatever Oyibo stints they had, generally speaking, they retain a lot of connection to their home countries.
True. That
this feels more like genuine Nigerian wins than say Sade in the 90s or even like in the late 80s, you know. Like Sade, of course, our father is an Ekiti man, you know, but the fact of the matter remains that the lady is probably more identifying as British than anything else. The same thing with Seal as well. Also, Song of the Year, I think 1996 with Kiss from a Rose, but British. Let's face it, you understand? Yes. So there's all of these kinds of things, you know, that you could say, okay, the person is Nigerian, but maybe not quite Nigerian. With people like Wizkid winning something internationally, or like Burna Boy, or like Tems, there's really, it's just, you know, it's us. So it now feels like back in the day when we used to pretty much struggle to be associated with all of those things. This time,
it's no longer like these days now we are winning NWC and they are saying not a big deal.
Exactly. So
like
so that's
we are acting like it's not the Grammys. So
exactly, yeah, you know, exactly.
Oris,
so yeah, that's people like me. But the thing is that I've always, as a person, you know, myself, I've always wondered that I'm not. I mean, everybody's happy with some kind of award, even if it's the one in my village. I'm happy to receive it, to be honest. It's why chief titles are a big deal for a lot of us. It's our own people who are saying, you know what, we deserve this thing for whatever you've done to the community or done for the community. You know, but at the same time, I've always felt like I would like very much for my people, for myself, to reach the highest points acknowledged by whatever committee was deciding. So international community, we know that in the music business, the biggest award is the Grammys.
Yes.
In the the movie business, the biggest awards are the Oscars.
Yes.
In the film festival, whatever, there's Berlin, there's Venice, there's Sundance, there's Cannes. You get? So all of these things are, for me, all of these things are like important parts. So I've always felt like that's where, as a human being, That's where I want to go to. You get exactly. So it's not like it's not like I am saying NAACP people want to like shit. No, I'm only saying that it's not quite as valuable.
Prestigious.
Let's face it. Yes, as the Grammys. It's just the fact. It's not anything. It's just that's just the truth. And I was saying something earlier on air, and it's something I should repeat here. That when you see a black artist, this is not forget Nigeria, black artist, American, whatever it is, able to get this kind of major awards, love, and consistently, it takes a shitload of work to get that, you know.
Yes.
There's work, there's shitload of luck, by the way, as well, a shitload of politics as well to get into all of those places. And in the US, let's face it, look, you can be famous and you can be super successful. It's entirely possible to do that within your own county, within your own state, within your whatever. It's very possible. But to be successful really in the US, that super success we are talking about, is to appeal to white people. Fact of life.
Fact.
I mean, you can talk the policies any I want to say.
Facts.
The fact of the matter is that you have to appeal to white people.
Too.
Yes, exactly. You see?
Facts.
So that's why, so people like Kanye, people like Jay-Z that have managed, Beyonce that have managed to do this, get the crazy numbers both in the black and white communities, get the respect and the awards from both communities. It is not something that it's not easily handed out. It's not easy at all, you know. So you have to understand the amount of things that these people are, I mean, mentally they've had to like reconfigure to get all of those. So when we have our Nigerian guys also getting to those points, you know what, these people, they don't try.
Well done, yes.
Of course, to be fair, over the past few years, because of this emphasis again on inclusion and diversity, it has made it easier. Let's not discount that.
Yeah.
But the fundamental thing means there's still a shitload of people who are still struggling for distance. Daily, a black person is still okay. I'm making millions, whatever. But people like, I mean, someone like Kanye, you know that in his head, right from when he knew that this is where I wanted to go to. It was not enough to just be like as they call it, black famous. You know, was famous in the community and everything. That's fine, you know, but
I mean, something like what the band, you know, did or tried to do. What year was that? When he met with Kanye West. Everything.
You know, that's another. Yes, it's kind of you know, and that's the thing. Someone like, of course, also had the ambition. You know what he want. He also all of them.
Yes.
If you go back to YouTube, go and check the underbelly of YouTube, you would see a very old interview with MI on when getting interviewed by Wendy Williams. Mm-hmm. People don't seem to know this, you know, but it happened. This is back in the day. Yeah. You know, when this happened. So people have always tried to get into this because let's face it, at least for hip hop or songs like hip hop R&B, a lot of the inspiration is directly American.
True.
If you're an artist, you're like, okay, these people inspired me. I also want to be able to go there and conquer. But it has not been easy. You know, people like that put in all of their efforts, or maybe all of it, but they tried. You know, MI clearly tried with those interviews I saw. The band, of course, was the person who did what he could, but even he couldn't quite crack it. You know, but I mean, whether it was a issue of talent, whether it was an issue of time, but I think time plays a lot of this. And you know, some of the things I was saying to somebody the other day, like, look, in this life, talent is good, and everybody is true, you know. But man, look, you can't argue with time.
No, you can't.
Can you, for instance, I mean, let's face it. Can we say, I mean, this is a genuine question, by the way. Whoever is listening to this or watching this, can you say that any of our new artists, and I mean any of them, from Burna Boy, who's probably the most talented of all of them, to Tems, to Wizkid, to Davido, can you say any of them really has the songwriting prowess or even the quality of songs that Two-Face did?
No.
I think you really find that hard to argue.
It'll be arguable, yeah, actually.
You find that really hard to argue that, you know what, these guys have it. And yet, I don't think you can compare the sheer amount of success internationally these people have enjoyed that Two-Face never did.
Yes.
If Two-Face was born in this time.
Yes, perhaps, or was not born, maybe happening.
This was, this time.
I think what you said there, what's mounted up is the fact that timing is just different. Look at, if Afro beats was as heavy as it is right now, with the band meeting with Kanye West at that point in time. So, which is why it is still part of that process, part of that whole development and the starting point of what we have today. You know, all those connections, all those meetings, all those things are still part of the process of what has brought us to where we are today with the the word Afrobeats. Like I said, I struggled with accepting, generalizing our music as Afrobeats. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I just felt like everybody's just trying to be fella, but I'm still happy about where we are with it. Like we were saying, it was just about timing. Look at what our people are doing today. At the NBA, a whole NBA final.
Exactly.
I mean, Tems, Burna Boy, Rema. It was a big deal. It's a big something that's never happened before. How? Regardless of the fact that it was themed something black or Africa or whatever. But truth is, if you're going to give it that kind of theme or that kind of if it was going to be themed like that like 10 years ago, they would have still called maybe like Ishade Adudo, that selected a couple of people who are blacks, connected to Africa, but not particularly
Africa like that.
Put them on it. But this time around, it's our own people, live, flesh and blood. I mean, shout out to all everybody that shared that stage with themselves or with the other ones. It was just a big deal as far as we're concerned, and it is still credit to us, Nigeria. Nigeria is doing big things, man. And so many things, but we just keep, like, I always have to chip in. We just need good governance in this country, and then everything will just be
speaking
fine.
of, because I like Wahala, let me ask James this question.
Yes.
So of the thing you just said, the one with the performances at the NBA thing, whose performance was the best in your view?
So, sincerely for me, it's Burna Boy. For me, it's Burna Boy. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos, but the videos are actually
it's
check
everywhere.
YouTube,
It's
check
everywhere.
You see, you can tell us. I mean, for me, it was Burna Boy. Really, I mean, see, a Burna Boy's performance. Look, not intending to compare in any way, but you see, when I sit down to watch Kanye West's performance, like stage performance, it's not the same thing. But let's say Kanye West to America, for me, Nigeria here, as far as Afrobeat is concerned, because sometimes I don't want no disrespect to the likes of Femi Kuti, Seun Kuti, even Made, and the work that the Kutis put into their craft. Yes, but let's say we all know that Fela's family is a music family. Nobody's dragging with them. Let's put it like that. Yeah. But as far as this new age artists or Afrobeats is concerned, look, Burna Boy, you cannot mess with the depth of work that he puts into his not just performance, also his craft. Burna Boy will dance. Look at one of his moonwalk thing that he did. He did 2 years or it was 2 years ago, I think. That was an iconic move to do on that stage, and it was mind blowing. I have to say, So when it comes to his performance, I mean, so it's not just about singing. He doesn't just sing. It's also about what's happening at the back. It's also about what the drummers are doing. It's also about what the outsiders, his band, what they are doing. I've also seen like behind the scenes of Wizkid's pre-performance preparation, what the band does, the music director, what they put in, the work they put into this thing is insane. We can never ever underestimate how much work these guys put into their stage performances. For David, I can't say much of. I've not really seen a lot of David's. I've not seen any thing I would say is remarkable about his stage performance, really. But I know that Burna Boy was probably, apart from when he started getting major attention, his mom or his management put in a lot of work on his stage performance, live performance. This is not just DJ play, live performance. They put in a lot of work into it, and I mean, shout out to them. I know MI too. I remember because once upon a time I've seen his rider. I see how much details he tries to put into what he wants on stage, the sound, the quality of sound. If they're playing live, all of this. I know when they used to do rehearsals somewhere at Obanikoro, like I know they put in a lot of work as well. So shout out to everybody who's putting in a lot. And what's it called? Sound Sultan, may so rest in peace. I've been to his live, his rehearsals before, and I know that these guys, two Baba, the same thing. I know two Babas from a drummer. I don't know if these guys still drumming for him. So I know how much work they put into their live performances, and which is why, for every accolade that they get right now, for every award, for everything, that I feel like we have to agree that yes, they deserve it, and they put in as much work for them to get those things. So I mean, I think we've pretty much covered. And let's say quickly, if somebody's going to do a biopic about you, who would you pick? a Nigerian actor that should
a Nigerian actor that will do it. Woof, man. He's a little smaller than I. Well, I don't know, smaller. She won't be able, will not be happy to hear this, but maybe not smaller. But a little less.
Slim. Is that Sheung or
not the Sheung? Not
no. I know Sheung the actor. Sheung
Ajayi.
Ajayi.
That's yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I actually I like her accent. Him.
Timmy Obusun. Timmy Obusun. I mean, I'm not as hyper. I've watched I've seen a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
You understand? His is it the demeanor, the characters that he has played, or the personality that he portrays in his movies? I'm not naturally like that. I don't know how it is naturally. Do you understand? Outside the cameras, but regardless, I think I would like 80 minutes to play my part. I just feel like it's something he'll be able to play my part.
I see. Anyway.
But that's it anyway. Why we ask questions? Because what's her name?
Gabrielle
Union mentioned a couple of people. Janet Jackson. I mean, the most iconic one that actually raised eyebrow was the fact that she wanted a Janet Jackson. She would not mind if a Janet Jackson plays her character or her person
played her in a
biopic. So, but that's by the way. So tell us what you think about today's show. Whatever comments you have, share with us. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as Catch Oris.
Yes.
And Catch Oris Gram. So Catch Oris on Twitter, Catch Oris Gram on Instagram. I am James Silas on Instagram. I'm actually just look for James Silas because I'm actually Jams on Twitter. But if you type James Silas, you still find me. And James Silas is JamesSilas. Write it once, and you find us. Subscribe to our channel,
please.
Share. I mean, we are coming up. I don't know if you saw the.
We are
coming up. We are coming up. It will shock you people very soon. This is our car that used to look like it's dark and everything. We'll start recording in a very correct car. You'll be surprised in Range Rover that will have stars and galaxy on top like this. Guys, don't take us for granted.
All right.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace.